Hey, we're in Diatonic. What you've been listening to is a new to me flute. This is actually quite an old flute, but in very good conditions from 2003 from michaelgrahamallen. And this came up used on one of the Facebook flute groups. And I was just intrigued by the tuning. Now, the advertised tuning was claimed to be a D root note and C sharp for the rest of it. And so had to see what that was about. And turns out that's not what it is at all. So this is actually a key of D diatonic Native American style flute. So if you play straight up the scale, it is a 6-hole flute, no thumb hole. So if you just play lifting the fingers one after another, you get a D diatonic major scale. Now, if you think you have a normally tuned Native American style flute and you try to leave that third hole down, that's when you can kind of get some weird conclusions there. So now you're going to get the major scale like that. But that's cool too, because it does have some neat cross fingerings. So you can get it, you can play it pretty well chromatic with maybe a couple of exceptions. But you can get those in between notes with cross fingering for the most part that you might not be able to get with, say, a low D whistle. So you can get some in between notes like the B flat. Haven't figured all that out quite yet, full fingering chart, but it does have some cross finger notes as well as half holing. Okay, let's compare this to a couple of other flutes in my collection. The only other MGA flute I've got also happens to be diatonic, but this one plays quite differently because it is an 8-hole flute in the key of A. So I'll just remind you what this sounds like. Okay, go. Reach the thumb hole there. So this one is overall much louder with the extended range, you know, the extra pinky hole and the extra thumb hole. This one was from 2008, so a little bit later in his flute making career journey there. So this one, much mellower tone, not quite as versatile, but has its own charms there as well. Now, I have a problem with low D whistle. This is an E flat, so I'll give you a comparison here. I had to just sell my low D whistle because I have a really hard time reaching. And it's interesting, this is an E flat. The reach is about the same. The E flat is actually a little bit lower, and if you can imagine this same design in a D, it would be even further down the tube, even harder to reach. So if you're like me, you want a low D option, something like this could be very useful because the finger spacing is much closer. There's a little bit longer reach, but the finger spacing makes it so that you don't have to use Piper's grip at all. You can just use kind of a normal finger pad. But your fingerings from whistle technique work pretty much. Now your cross fingerings may be a little bit different, but other than that, works quite well. So I'm not sure what makers are still making this style. There are some diatonic Native American style flutes makers can probably still find, but this is from 2003, so I don't think you're going to be getting this one again. So yeah, I think that's about all we need to cover today for the intro, and so we'll just play out a little bit more, and then we'll see you next time.